I'm okay.
No one can know that the president is dead. If word gets out, Bridges
All right.
is finished. And what happened here does not leave this room. Do you understand?
Yes, Director. But there's still the matter of the body. Without corpse disposal.
We've got that covered.
Huh. I got to restart this computer. It's pausing a lot. Valid. Oh, that's fine.
Sam, if you died, the president made a contract with you.
What are you talking about?
As a member of Bridges, you're going to work with the rest of us to rebuild America.
You think you can recruit me? Like she tried to?
She succeeded. Look at your wrist. If that's not symbolic, I don't know what is.
Director, the cancer spread throughout her entire body. Harvesting organs.
All right. So basically, I'm trying to figure out what's going on with the PC right now. It's streaming kind of funky. It is really weird. Weird. Couldn't get out the word. Either way, looks like it's starting to pick up, going a little bit smoother right now. Anyway, but there were a few things that I wanted to talk about tonight. I don't really have anybody on tonight with me. I decided to go solo for a little bit since, it's a holiday. I didn't want to interrupt anybody's holiday plans. Today is MLK Jr. birthday, Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday, which is a big deal for all of us, for how he impacted the country, the world. But I can dive deep into that, but I'm choosing not to because we're going to keep it a little bit lighthearted tonight because there are a few things that I do want to touch on. Since last night we did have The Last of Us that hit, which The Last of Us was phenomenal. If you did not see The Last of Us or have yet to hear about The Last of Us is a great show. Well, first off, it's a great game. Naughty Dog did a phenomenal job. The writing, the direction of the game, phenomenal job. And when they had first announced this a while ago, I was nervous that it was going to be, it was going to screw up the source material. It was going to screw up the storyline. It wasn't going to be able to keep the same tension. Well, they grabbed one of the directors of Chernobyl, or the creators of Chernobyl. And if you haven't seen Chernobyl is based on the real life events of the nuclear reactor. And they did that show. It was a limited series on HBO, and they did a one of the best limited series to ever hit. I mean, honestly, I love Watchmen. Watchmen was probably one of my favorites. Then you also have Lovecraft Country. That's another one of my favorites. But Chernobyl is up there with them because of how well they did that show. I mean, the tension in every episode is so well done. The acting is well done. The suspense. Half the time you're trying, what happens at Chernobyl historically. We all know the story behind it. But what they did is they, went behind the scenes in a sense. So you really, yes, they created a character here and there, and they did the for TV thing, since it is based on a true story. It is not a documentary, but it feels like a documentary. It makes you feel like you were there. So half the time you're trying to catch your breath as you're watching the show because you're holding it the whole time because you know something bad is happening and your heart aches for the people that were involved. And it's such a phenomenal show. So yeah, if you get a chance, check out Chernobyl. Um, I highly recommend that. But once they announced The Last of Us, and they went into who was going to be a part of the whole creation team, and they announced the guys from Chernobyl, I was all on board. So coming off of watching it last night, I don't know if, well, we'll talk about the story. Basically, they pulled and kept close to the source material of The Last of Us, the whole series. So the cool part about the game itself, if you hadn't played the game was, oh my gosh, you will cry throughout the whole game because it made you do things that you did not want to do and you felt uncomfortable doing, but you had to do them. Oh my gosh. And I even had to, hit a couple of checkpoints because I died because I didn't want to do what they were wanting me to do. Plus I was a little teary eyed, so I had to push pause a couple times. So the game itself was written really well. It's basically about they aren't father-daughter, but it is a father-daughter relationship. And you really feel for Joel throughout the whole game. You feel for Ellie throughout the whole game. And honestly, the other characters, the ancillary people that were involved, it tells a great story. Even in part two carried it on and just carried that torch and really hurt my heart even more. Man, within the first 10 minutes, I'm sitting here grabbing tissues and stuff. So needless to say, when, like I said, with the game or with the show, I was hoping it was going to be great, and it did. And as you see with so far the audience scores that saw it, phenomenal. Everybody loves it. They changed a few things. The big change, which people were worried about, but I do like how they explained it at the very beginning of the show. Actually, they didn't explain it that much yet. They haven't got to it because in the game, the actual problem is spread through spores. They didn't do that. The actual explanation they talked about it going through spore or being transferred through spores makes sense. Because yes, we are a lot more educated dealing with, the pandemic and understanding the spreading of, viruses and so on and so forth. So we understand that, and even spores. So it would be hard to portray that. And I understand it would be hard to portray that part in a movie now, or even in a TV show now. So they changed that to the transference in tendrils. I think it's what it's called, tendrils. Basically, it's more transferred through touch more so than it is through floating spores that you can't see. And plus, I think that grabs more tension, and you can actually feel it when even in the first episode when they saw the dead body on the wall with all the fungus coming out of him, so you could see it better and understand it more than the way that it's going to spread. And the way that the actual fungus finishes the body off, in a sense, when that person is dead and you can see him on the wall, yeah, you understand it more rather than through spores. And I think that was a good call. That was a really good call. But the show itself, again, phenomenal. The tension is there, especially when they're going through it. A lot of the game is sneaking around, hiding in the shadows, and knowing when to come out and trying to avoid attacks more so than going out first person shooter style or third person shooter style and then just attacking off the gate. No, the show kept that true to form. Yes, it's all about hiding behind, trying to stay out of sight. When they're first caught, you feel the pain in Joel because Joel flashes back. And that's another thing the game did is it does a lot of flashback scenes because it tries to tie you to those characters. Did a great job. So I completely agree with the audience score. I think it's, up there, one of the best shows out there coming off that first episode. It had a very, very strong first episode. Scenery was well done. The stage is set. Hopefully they can continue on because right now, in terms of video games do not have a great track record translating over to the the listening mode is pretty cool in the game. And even after you finish the game, you go back through the cinema, the clips. Oh, the clips are great. But video games don't have a great track record of translating into shows. The best video game show, I'm guessing it's going through that transition the way Marvel did. Marvel used to suck at movies and shows. Any comic book that became a show or became a movie was garbage. But then it kind of hit a switch and they found a groove. And now, like Ant-Man Quantumania, I can't wait to see that. That's going to be awesome. But the last few video games that have translated over to shows that have been really good have been Castlevania, Arcane, and then now this looks like this is translating over to being a good live action show. The other two were animated. I wouldn't say The Witcher is one because The Witcher actually wasn't based off of the game. The Witcher was actually based off the books. So he kind of separated it out, which kind of stinks because I'm curious how, now with the transition of Henry Cavill not being The Witcher, that's going to stink. So in other words, to say, I just want to say all that, watch The Last of Us. Hands down, watch it. It is a phenomenal show on HBO. There are some other great shows on HBO, like Harley Quinn is actually fun. Another one that we're going to talk about, which is on HBO, which has kind of been grinding on me lately because I keep seeing all these reviews and people review bombing it. Now that we're going to transition off of The Last of Us, Mark looks like he's trying to come in. There's Mark right there.
I just thought I'd see what was happening in the world of gaming.
Yeah, I was just talking about a few. Well, the big thing in gaming that actually came out was actually a show that came based off of the game, which is The Last of Us.
Mm-hmm.
And just like I was just saying, the game itself, I haven't had a chance to play the game for you. I don't think you've seen the game. We'll have to play it one. Well, actually, I'll have to show you some of the clips and play it. The game itself is hands down one of the best written stories ever. Gameplay wise, it actually plays really well too, but it is one of the best written stories. If you think about The Walking Dead with an actual storyline, the best parts about The Walking Dead are what The Last of Us is.
Right.
And it, I don't want to ruin it, so I want to recommend it. But the whole premise, the basis of the story is wrapped around a father-daughter relationship, but they aren't father-daughter. I mean, here's, let's see. So here's what the game is. This is the trailer of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Hoping the audio comes through. Is the audio coming through?
It's a little faint, but it's coming through slightly.
Oh, I can turn it up. I forgot about that.
ain't gonna play out. You do what I say when I say it.
Joel, I can
It's cold luck, and it is gonna run out.
hear that. Run! Too many of them!
You ready, all? Come on. You realize what your life means?
Stop with the bullshit. What are you so afraid of?
What's up with the BS?
Also, it has some of the. They did some great acoustic remakes of different songs.
Oh, like what?
Check this out. This is what is that?
Nothing like a good remake.
And see, I don't want to play the in the song, but so which one is one? Not Eye for an Eye. What's the name of that song? Because it's the last song they play in actually the in the I know where it is. But either way, let me see if I can find it. Because I don't even know if the audio is playing pretty smooth, but I cannot remember the name of it. What is the name of that song? Now I gotta find it. It's killing me. It is because it's in one of my playlists because I think it's one of the coolest songs. Oh, passed it. That song is
Passed it.
Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? I just passed it. See now, Mark, I gotta find
It's
it.
not right. You passed it. It's not my fault. Dude. All my fault.
See, every time.
It's all my fault. But at least I admitted it was my fault.
Because like I said, I don't want to play it and get dinged. Well, yeah, as long as it's less than 15 seconds, I think it is.
Yeah.
That's a little. Where'd it go?
You lost it.
Goodness, I done lost it.
You lost it again.
Us part. Ooh, there it is. Oh, Take on Me. That's what I was trying to remember. Why couldn't I remember the name? But yeah, they did a great job with Take on Me. I know you should be able to hear that. Oh, there you go. And see, Mark disappeared on me. Right when I found a song, he disappears on me. Every time. His computer must have crashed. Either way, again, I highly recommend watching The Last of Us. They're doing some extra remakes on there's some other acoustic guitar stuff because that's one of the key components of the game. So they keep it in the actual movie, which I loved. And they did a lot of music was a big focus of the game too. And at the end of the episode 1, they did a good job to call back to that. But like I said, that's on HBO. It just started yesterday. I can't wait for episode 2. But the one that I have a gripe about, and I want to try and squash the the hatred towards this, because I'm starting to see a lot of hatred. So She-Hulk, I was a big fan of She-Hulk. I thought She-Hulk was done really well for what it was, because it took the same spirit of what the comic book was and the comic book She-Hulk, and actually put it to live action. She-Hulk was never super serious. She-Hulk was more like Deadpool than anything, and she came out before Deadpool. If I remember, she came out before Deadpool. Don't quote me on that. I'm gonna have to look that up, make sure I take that, or when I do the edit of this, chopping out this whole rambling piece. But either way, so She-Hulk was more like Deadpool. It was all jokes. It was all happy fun. It was there were serious parts, but then it was more so, an enjoyment and poking fun at. She broke the fourth wall so many times. So she would come out of the screen. People didn't understand that that's who She-Hulk was. And then on top of that, they didn't understand how her character was, and they wanted to see her smashing. They wanted to see all this other stuff. Well, she was poking fun, again, doing what She-Hulk does, and poking fun not only at the Marvel people, but the fan base who are so fanatic about things, but did a great job. Phenomenal job. And I thought she received a lot of hatred for it, but in the show, she used that, and it was beautiful. So I applaud She-Hulk. She-Hulk was one of my favorite of the Marvel series. Then there's some other shows out there on HBO, like She-Hulk's on Disney Plus, of course, but HBO Max, of course, has the DC stuff. On the DC stuff, there's Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn is a great show. If you haven't watched Harley Quinn, please watch it. It's a really good show. It's a good take on Harley Quinn. It doesn't, it has Batman in there, but Batman's a joke. It has the Joker in there, but Joker's the Joker's not serious. It's about Harley Quinn. So people, I guess, took to it and loved it. Rick and Morty, of course, isn't DC, but Rick and Morty is on HBO. But this kind of all ties together, because this is kind of where I'm going with this pathway. So follow me down. This is cool. So Rick and Morty, I do enjoy. Rick and Morty isn't part of WB, isn't part of DC. Well, actually, I think, they're on the Cartoon Network and they're on HBO. So they've got to be a part of Warner Brothers. But Rick and Morty's written really well. It's a big spoof on a lot of things. The problem with a lot of shows, especially the more adult cartoons, is that they rely on a crutch. Rick and Morty luckily doesn't rely on that crutch. It actually is written really well and has fun. Rick and Morty guys made actually a video game, High on Life. Problem with High on Life is it relied on the crutch. It was all about cussing and the banter, and then cussing, and then saying stuff that didn't make any sense. And then, I didn't enjoy it as much as a lot of others have. It could be fun. I mean, I'm going to give it another go and see if I can get further in the game. But I got bored with the same quips, and the sound effects weren't all that great. The mechanics were kind of redundant. The actual gameplay, because the AI was so poor, I was really bored with it, because either you're getting overwhelmed by a few things, or you just hide out in particular areas and you can pick off anybody you want. It gets boring. It's not really like some of the other solid first-person shooters, even though this is, I think their second foray. I'm using big words. Their second shot at this is their first big game. High on Life. I mean, they have some other ones. So, speaking about the crutch, talking about, using curse words and using just vulgarity just to be there and not actually using it to move the story forward or being a part of the actual story. So I say all this to speak about the comparison. Velma right now just got released. It is on its second episode. The first episode, I haven't watched the second one. First episode I enjoyed. I thought it was actually pretty cute, for what it was and what it was trying to do. It wasn't trying to be a full-blown remake or retelling of Scooby-Doo. Scooby-Doo in its heyday was really just a joke about mystery. It was a spoof on mystery shows. I mean, it's a big joke. You got a dog, you got Shaggy, you got who Shaggy is the best in multiverses. Use him. He's awesome. Throws a giant sandwich. But you got Shaggy, you got Velma. I mean, you got all of them. Velma being the oddball of the whole bunch, but they did a good, they decided to start with Velma in terms of writing the story about Velma and doing kind of a different telling on who Velma is. I think they did a good job. I think for what they are trying to do, which is staying with She-Hulk, and the whole essence of She-Hulk is that she's like Deadpool and is a clown and having fun. And it's not I'm going to be so serious about stuff. This is, I have control over who I am, and this is just the fun that I'm going to have. Same thing with Velma. Velma is trying to figure herself out, but has some mental issues, and they're joking about, who she is and coming about. It's an adult cartoon. It's like Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn comes to find out that she is bisexual, but she figures it. Same thing with Poison Ivy. In that show, they go through this whole play, and it's hilarious. But Velma is trying to figure herself out. I mean, it's only the second episode I hear is actually really, really funny, which I can't wait to watch. I'll probably watch that after this. But the first episode of Velma is good. I enjoyed it. Here's the trailer of Velma if you have yet to see it. Oh my goodness, what is this?
/no fee.
Oh, I take
my
it.
way. Jeez.
My name is Velma Dinkley, and I've decided to finally share the bone-chilling events that drove me to assemble the greatest team of spooky mystery solvers ever. This is my story, told my way. She has no brain! Oh, I'm not dissing her. She has no brain! And it starts with a murder. When I see something, I wish... If I can't convince people I didn't kill Brenda, I'm going to be arrested.
I know, but I also know how to find out who did kill Brenda. I think it has something to do with drugs, which I hate.
Hey, Fred.
Do I know you?
It's Velma from school.
I have a disease where I can't recognize people who aren't hot.
Is it called rudeness?
I have an illness!
Hey, Daphne. I need a favor. Why would I do that? We're not friends anymore. We're never.
So as you see this, it's just it's not to be taken serious. Not at all. It's a joke. It's fun. It's playing on the tropes of the high school murder stuff. The tropes of the movies around, like Scream, to even the old Scooby-Doo films. It's just fun. It's not one where you sit and you're going to have to analyze what does this Easter egg mean? Is this a good throwback to Shaggy? Is this a good throwback to Scooby-Doo? It's about Velma. Yes, this gentleman here is going to be Shaggy. There's Daphne. Yeah, Norval is Shaggy, but Shaggy's owned by somebody else. There's Fred. So you have, actually, no. Shaggy may come in later, or this could be the Shaggy of this show. Because I think Shaggy might be owned by somebody else because he's in that multiverses. Anyway, needless to say, it's just a funny show. It's just mindless humor. But as you see in the background, you have people who have review bombed it, I don't necessarily want to say that I had high hopes for this one, as I didn't think that it could actually be disappointing, or I could actually be disappointed by it. And I was wrong. From the cringy, obvious feel of this being a Mindy Kaling self-inserted to the attempted humor miss. So they're attacking the individual who made it. Absolutely disgusting. No, it wasn't. Why not make something new? That's what she's doing. Nothing but resentment and hatred here. Honestly, this show watches like the writer's personal therapy session. Okay, that's it. It's just mindless humor. It's just for fun. I mean, yes, there's some stuff that she pokes fun at, but that's every show. And the reason why I brought up Solar Opposites, I thought Solar Opposites was garbage from a show perspective. I'm not thinking about the writers because, again, I love Rick and Morty. I thought Rick and Morty was phenomenal. I watch every episode multiple times. Pickle Rick, I've got the remix song on my on one of my playlists. So I love me some Rick and Morty. However, Solar Opposites was crap, but it gets a 81% score. Really? Why? Don't know. Because the show itself, for example, this is one of the videos from Solar Opposites.
You know, we wanted to make a show.
Solar Opposites. I don't want to do that. Where is it? The Red Band trailer.
My mornings start here.
Of course, it's going to give me a freaking an ad right now. But either way, Solar Opposites leans heavily on a crutch of saying swear words the whole time. I don't care. Don't sit there and say swear words the whole time because it's boring. Oh, now I can play. Yeah, age verification. Okay. Yes.
Hey, Dark Roast drinkers.
Side
of Dunkin' you haven't seen.
I'm going to push mute. Dunkin' Donuts. I'm not that hungry right now. But, by the way, I was playing Death Stranding. That's what I started out with. I may switch back to that a little bit later. Why are you gonna let me play it now? Yes. Okay.
Mass extinction, but while we're here, at least we have each other.
We can wear matching costumes and compete in fashion shows.
Nope,
Just
nope,
two
I'm
friends
covering my
holding
ears.
hands
I
down
don't
the
wanna hear
street.
Do you ever get the feeling people think we're weird? What the fuck?
There. So, whoops. Why are you doing this? Done.
What are you doing in our back?
Thank you.
No.
Go back to Uranus.
What up, my dudes? We're aliens.
Get him the fuck out of here. Later, dickholes.
I knew it. We're unlikable, aren't we? Is it the sci-fi stuff? Do I smell bad? What is it?
With a little extra effort, I think we can up our likability. Are you ready to do what it takes?
You mean sex stuff?
That's possible, yeah.
Then yes. Courtesy of Corvo.
Oh my god, I can feel my legs!
You're welcome.
Everything stop! This is...
So, again, now, in terms of comparing the two shows, yes, they're written differently. In a sense. However, they're still the same. You have extremely vulgar stuff and more vulgar here and not actually as witty here compared to Velma that was a little bit more witty or written a little bit better. Animation's actually a little bit better. Yes, you're on season 3 now with Hulu, but you're only on the second episode and you get 7% because people want to it's just I don't understand it. So I'm just saying this because basically, look, you got it's just Rick and Morty except for far less clever. That's true. That's true. First episode had some mildly funny jokes, but the pacing was so infantile. But yet you gave her a 3. But yeah, you come over here to Velma, everything's a 1 or less. It's just I don't understand people. So I say all this. Because yes, I enjoy Velma. I think Velma is a good show. I think it's a decent show for what it is. I don't think looking at this score that people review bombed, don't take it to heart. Watch Velma for yourself enjoy it because for what it is. Don't let somebody else take your joy because their opinion is they're stuck on some political mess, because that's what some of the stuff is, because they hate the individual who wrote it because who she is and why she wrote it this way or what the joke she added in. It's the same thing as I get tired of hearing that same trope that they tell, say some players in the NFL actually any sport, where if you don't like what they say politically wise, then you tell them to, I hate the shut up and play. That's dumb. They have the same opinion. They have the right to the same opinion that everybody else does. So they should be allowed to speak just as much as anybody else should be allowed to speak. So going after, I think a lot of the hatred and review bombing is because, just going back to She-Hulk, a lot of people hated She-Hulk because she wasn't a man. A lot of people are hating Velma because it pokes fun at that male ego a little bit here and there. So what? It's a joke. Have fun. Not everything is serious. But it's a good show. I would recommend this show for anybody who loves like Harley Quinn, anybody who loves Rick and Morty, anybody who loves any, of the newer adult cartoons. So definitely that was what has been grinding me for a little bit. Velma is a good show. Just watch it and judge it for yourself. If you're into those cartoons, like this woman here completely missed the point.
If you needed money to keep your pregnant girlfriend happy, and then you heard what the Joneses are willing to pay, I'm sure you'd agree it's possible Fred didn't do it.
Fred's a rich white guy with a tiny... He did it. Now, excuse me, I have to go find my missing mother.
Going into this,
it froze.
Really low, but even then, dear God. So I feel like right from the beginning, from the very first reports we ever got about this show, we could all tell that the creative team behind Velma was into some wild shiz. I mean, first off, you're gonna make a Scooby-Doo series without Scooby-Doo.
It's not a Scooby-Doo series. It's not. It's called Velma. It's not called Scooby-Doo. It's called Velma. This is what I'm talking about in terms of the idea and the mindset. It's the same thing when fans attacked the most controversial film that's out there in the Star Wars world, The Last Jedi. The Last Jedi tried some new stuff. It wanted to venture out and stop doing the same thing over and over. So I think The Last Jedi did a good job about what it was trying to do. Same thing with Velma. Don't listen to people like this right now. I mean, yes, she may have some points on, or she may have some views that you may like. But either way, judge for yourself. Judge for yourself. Because it could be a show that you truly enjoy. And again, I'm enjoying it. I didn't listen to
the titular character, but you're also going to take a show that traditionally has been geared toward families and children, but
that's not what this show was geared towards. It was billed as an adult show. It was sold as an adult show. It's not a family show. It's not Scooby-Doo. It's not the Mystery Machine. It's Velma. Let it go. Like I said, I have nothing against this Mediaholic. They do a phenomenal job. They're great. But either way, just again, for me, to you, try it. See how you like it, especially if you have HBO. It's already there in your bill. You can watch it as much as you want. Try it, test it out. I think it was a good show. So that was my thing today. That was basically what I wanted to talk about mainly. Is that yes, Last of Us was great. Last of Us was hey, look, Mark is making it back. He finally made it back. Oh, he disappeared. I guess his computer crashed. So yeah, The Last of Us is great. Watch that. Take time to really sit down and really enjoy The Last of Us. The writing on it, phenomenal. It is hands down right now the best. Well, starting out as the best adaptation of a video game. I wish they would have done this and taken this time with some of the other adaptations. But, you know, you can't have it all. Okay. But let's see when Mark is about to come in. Also, the other game, well, like I said, Velma, take time. Velma's a fun show. It'll yes, it's different. Don't go in thinking that you, because of the history of Velma and Scooby-Doo. Don't go in thinking that's what this is an example of going in thinking that's what it's going to be. So I wouldn't do that. I would just go in saying, okay, I want to watch Velma. Hey, Mark, you're back.
I'm back. At least for a minute.
What happened to the
What's
computer?
it like? Hey, computer's having a moment and all in that line. I was hearing you on the computer, on the phone, using big words like foyer,
Lord,
stuff like that. You were using big words. I was really impressed with the vocabulary and the whole notion of Velma and people that are doing things and they're being critical of a show. And like you said, it's just a show. They don't need to get critical in all that space. Sometimes they just need to enjoy the show. And if they don't enjoy the show, they can move on to the show that they do enjoy, and all in that line. But I was sitting there going like, hey, he's using some very big words and all in that space. He was having a big space moment.
I dip into that lexicon a little bit. Try and dip in that lexicon a little bit. Use something.
something of your lexicon.
Yeah, some. Try and have fun with it.
Hey, that's wrong with that.
But
I had the pleasure earlier today of interviewing a Hollywood star. Well, he actually calls himself a Hollywood journeyman, but he was in one of those classic David Milburn.
David Milburn.
He was one of the people that played General Hospital. He was also in a very campy movie that got him noticed and all of that, because he did the Sunday Smile on McDonald's and all in that line. And of course, he did some work with Roger Gorman and all in that space. And like I said, he's definitely a journeyman actor. That's even what he says about himself as well. He even did the Glasses to Go commercials. And then he did one of those classic horror movies. If you go to his IMDb movie page, you'll see what I'm talking about, because once I say the name, you'll be like, oh, I watched that. It's one of those guilty pleasures that you don't want to admit you watched, but you probably did watch it, because it's like in that whole zombie-like lane and everything. But yeah, he was very much a major character in a great television show, and all in that way that most people will be like,
really?
Huh?
I am curious.
You are curious? He was in the Slumber Party Massacre. He was the lead in the Slumber Party Massacre.
Slumber Party Massacre. Interesting.
Roger Corman and everything.
Okay. But yeah,
he was also in the lead. He's also the lead in The Sorceress.
The Sorceress?
Yeah.
Not The Sorceress in the Stone?
No, just The Sorceress.
Oh, okay. Oh, by the way, here's the trailer for The Last of Us behind the after this haircut commercial. Because like I said, I know you haven't seen the trailer of this one yet. I showed you the trailer of the game, but this is the actual show.
It was a commercial for Netspin.
If you don't think there's hope for the world, why bother going on?
You haven't seen the world, so you don't know. Keep going for family.
I'm not family.
No. Your cargo.
Why are you so important? Somewhere out west, they're working on a cure. I think what really impressed them was the fact that I didn't turn into a monster.
If she so much as twitches, don't. If I'm taking you with me, Do what I say when I say it. Got any advice on the best way west?
Yeah, go east. You've come this far, then you know what's out there.
You're not gonna scare us.
Scared him?
You have a greater purpose than any of us could have ever imagined.
Be careful who you put your faith in.
You might not be her father, but you were someone's.
You trust me?
Yeah, Mark, I'm telling you, the show is great so far.
Yeah, I'm seeing like zombies and other thing coming after you.
Yeah, I mean that is so. The premise again is well, part of the. Of course, everybody knows about The Walking Dead and all the other stuff, but the way this breakout happens is they're talking about a fungus and not a virus, and that the fungus takes over, it takes control of the body, and it's spread throughout the world, and you got to protect yourself essentially from the fungus so you don't become basically a zombie in a sense.
It can't be having people become zombies. There are enough zombies floating around.
The wild part about it though is the science they thought about behind it, thinking about how a virus spreads, and how a fungus is, because you have the zombie ants, and that's actually a real thing, which is actually interesting. But talking about how that how a fungus takes control of an ant or another insect and makes that insect do what it wants it to do, and that's the reason why, as the world warms, the fungus adapted and is able to infect humans and do the same thing. That's what happens, and that's why the humans themselves have changed.
Yeah, before
and think about
before the pandemic, didn't we have all kinds of movies about viruses and things attacking us and everything? Because I think that's what Andromeda Strain was about. I think I remember that movie correctly.
It was. But that's the thing, though, is like, thinking about zombies and all the other stuff. I mean, that's a different take in dealing with a fungus instead of a virus.
Right.
So, but yeah, it's such a good show right now. I don't know if you ever saw Chernobyl.
Based on Chernobyl in Russia?
Yeah. And Mark, this show, oh my gosh. I wonder if I've got a trailer on here. I don't think they have the trailer on here. But yes, this was based on a true story.
Actual Chernobyl.
Where's the trailer? There's the trailer. But it's a limited series that happened on HBO. It is phenomenal.
Ooh.
Well, the good we did. It doesn't matter. What does matter is that to them, justice was done. See, a just world is a sane world. There was nothing sane about Chernobyl.
I'm pleased to report that the situation in Chernobyl is stable. In terms of radiation, I'm told it's the equivalent of a chest X-ray.
No, Chernobyl is on fire. And every atom of uranium is like a bullet, penetrating everything in its path. Metal, concrete, flesh. Now, Chernobyl holds over 3 trillion of these bullets. Some of them will not stop firing for 50,000 years.
Tell me how to put it out.
You are dealing with something that has never occurred on this planet before.
Cut the phone lines. Contain the spread of misinformation.
What will happen to our boys?
The pain is unimaginable. In 3 days to 3 weeks, you're dead.
You can see him, and you cannot touch him. Do you understand?
What happened on the night of the accident?
Asking the right question will get you the truth. There is no truth.
What happened then? What happened after? All of it. All of it. Madness.
It show where much can and all in that way and everything. But Chernobyl, some people think that was a big time conspiracy and all in that way. Hold on, put myself in. I don't hear you, Joey. You hear me?
Whoop. Hey, I was on mute. But yeah, as you see, it's a great. It looks cool. It looks cool. It looks real. It's a real. That's a really good show.
Sounds like
that's why I got rated so high.
Cool. Cannot beat that at all. So you didn't answer my question. Was Chernobyl accidental or intentional?
Well, I think just as the way they dive into the show, I think it was a government cover up on the back end. A lot of there's a lot of money involved, so you gotta. I mean, the almighty dollar, ruble or whatever the currency is. I think it is the ruble, isn't it?
I think it is the ruble in Russia.
But yeah, you got to protect that. You got to protect that money, and there was a lot of money involved in that. So to protect the money, you cover it up, and that's what they did, or at least
we do a lot of that here too.
I mean, yeah, it's a global thing. I mean, money's money. There was a show. There was a movie called. What is it? Somebody saves the world. It's basically two guys. They did a lot of the backgrounds and looked into a lot of these problems that took place from how the money was getting doled out in New Orleans or Nolans when how that money was getting doled out there. Same thing with there was where DuPont had there was a cover up by DuPont because of the way they had the byproduct of one of their items that they were producing, and it destroyed a town. So they tried to they put out stories that DuPont was going to pay for that town or cover. They were going to do what's right and pay money to that town and everything else. And they documented how DuPont came back and tried to sue them for putting out these false stories, and so it's an interesting show. That was another interesting one.
It sounds very interesting. I know I was watching earlier today. I think we were bringing it up on the media show. They were talking about some of the worst television shows out there historically. One of them I actually liked, and I liked it as a kid.
Oh, which one?
Maybe just something about my Hogan's Heroes was actually on somebody's worst list. It was also like the Brady Bunch rerun, which I can see, even though I did watch the Brady Bunch. But yeah, they had Hogan's Heroes. I could also see Jerry Springer because I think that was number one on this particular list. And I think number two was a show that I totally forgot existed called My Mother's the Car. But apparently this was about somebody whose mother died and then came back reincarnated as a car. But I don't think I ever saw an episode of that ever a day in my life.
Interesting. My Mother is a Car.
Yeah, but apparently Rick Rosner, who does some of our shows, knew the show, and because he's in Hollywood. But apparently that is the narrative: is that the mother of the child dies, and then they come back and they're reincarnated as the car. So I guess that they have to talk to their car, who is also their mother. It sounded very goofy, for lack of a better term.
That's pretty funny, though. I mean, yeah, it is kind of goofy. My Mother is a Car.
Yeah.
I mean,
but cars have been interesting in some TV shows. I'm not also gonna lie, I did as a young adult, love to watch Knight Rider, and there's probably a Knight Rider video game, and of course, everybody remembers that car because that was Kit before the cars were like as developed and as fancy as they are now. Because that was those cars that we have now back then. Kind of like the Jetsons, which is even further back. So some of the things we've got now, they were predicting back in the day. But yeah, Kit, I guess was 70s or something like that. And they were having the investigator, because I think he was a detective, along with his lovely fancy car.
There are tons of Knight Rider games. Matter of fact, in Rocket League, one of the skins that they put out was a Knight Rider car.
Okay.
So yeah, there's tons of stuff with with Knight Rider. Oh, it didn't set it.
I can believe that. Yeah, but yeah, My Mother the Car, I was going like, okay.
Yeah, that's interesting. I guess if she turns, you can't really throw Mama from a train if she's the actual train.
That's true. That would not be good.
No, not at all. Not at all. Oh.
Speaking of trains, there was that classic other television show, and I'm not gonna lie, I watched that one too. But you told me, I'm sure you also watched it, because part of it, as kids, we used to love just saying the name, because who does not remember Chitty Chitty Ching Bang?
Oh, you mean Chitty Chitty Bang Bang?
Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, right? I said it backwards, but yes. I was trying to remember the full expression, but you know what I meant. But it was a classic.
Oh yeah. Chitty Chitty Bang Bang was definitely a classic. It hadn't seen that in years.
Mm-mm.
But still, Knight Rider took the cake until it started getting into Kit versus Car all the time, and that kind of got boring after a little bit.
Yeah, but some of those shows get boring anyway. I'm still to this day trying to figure out why Charlie's Angels went on a ski trip in bathing suits, because it's not like there's a lot of bathing suits up there in the mountains of Colorado or Utah or wherever else they might have been at, that they were having that whole narrative where they were there with a bathing suit. I'm going like, why? It's like below.
Because there are hot tubs in the mountains. I don't know.
No, they would try to get young boys to watch the show for any reason. In addition, catching up with Farrah Fawcett and Kate Jackson and Cheryl Ladd and whoever else was on that particular episode.
Yeah, that's what the show became. Was, hey, look who's cute.
Well, some of us, but I don't think I ever owned any that I can remember. I have friends that had them, but I'm thinking maybe Jacoby had one of those lovely posters of a star, maybe Pam Grier, on his wall and all of that when he was a teenager or a young adult.
Nope. Didn't have any. I didn't even have any posters up.
I don't think I had any either. I did have and I'll admit it, the ladies would give me a hard time if they were here, but I did have a teddy bear dog. It was actually kind of cool.
A teddy bear doll?
Teddy bear dog. It was more like a dog, but it was, like a teddy bear pillow type deal.
Interesting. Okay.
Big floppy ears.
Nothing wrong with that.
I don't remember if I named it, but it had big floppy ears.
I had a Cabbage Patch dog.
You had a Cabbage Patch?
Yeah, nothing wrong with them Cabbage Patch. Cabbage Patch was cool.
Cabbage Patch was cool. Then since you were often talking about the world of video games, didn't Cabbage Patch have a bunch of video games too?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, there is a video game for everything, Mark. Everybody, I mean, some have been banned, some have stayed. Somebody one of them that got banned, which I'm glad it did. Somebody took the Google Maps and decided to make it into a shooting game. So
wait a minute. They made the Google Maps that people go out there and make those maps of wherever people are on Google into a shooting game.
So yeah, they made it into where it's like a first-person shooter, or so instead, it would show an actual location, and in that location, you could go and shoot up whatever. So yeah, it was a first-person shooting game that somebody decided to make. So it got banned quickly, which was great. But yeah, somebody made that.
They were bored.
There's a game that was called Postal.
I do remember hearing about that.
Yep. That was one with Gary Coleman. Took his likeness, and yeah, that one was another one that got banned. Well, not really banned per se, but it sucked as a game. But yeah, that was one that got put out there.
But again, called Screen Rant, and they actually rated this is actually last year, they rated the 25 worst games of all times, and definitely the game considered the worst of the year at the Metacritic was The House of the Dead remake, and it still managed to break a 50 on the rating skills.
Well, House of the Dead was actually a good game. I didn't play the remake, but House of the Dead was a good game. It was one in the arcade. You had two guns basically, and you're shooting at the screen, kind of like Duck Hunt. Okay. And as a matter of fact, I think I even had that on my Sega Saturn or my Dreamcast. I think it was a Sega Saturn I had that on.
Well, apparently you did say that they make a game about anything. The number 25 one was one called Gravity Games Bike Street Vert Dirt. That was made in 2002. And it looks like it's a game about like what folks do when they do like those stunt bicycling things that you'll see in cities, even like around Durham and Raleigh and other places.
You mean doing like the different dirt bike moves and stuff?
Right, exactly.
Yeah, they've got one of the best games that ever came out, or the most addictive games was Excite Bike. Came out on the Nintendo.
Oh, wow.
Classic. It was a dirt bike game in a sense, but yeah.
And apparently you just mentioned Postal. It made number 24. Postal 3 made number 24. So you must have amazing memory and an amazing ability to figure that out and everything. Something called Game Party Champions, which looks like a baseball game, was number 23, and it was a Nintendo game. NBA Unrivaled was number 22. So that's one of those better versions of the NBA games. And Terror Wars, the New York Invasion, was number 21.
Yeah, that was a bad game. That was a bad game too. That was a bad game too. No, but
Pulse Racer bad game.
Which one?
Pulse Racer.
I didn't even play Pulse Racer. I saw it when it came out, but I didn't even play Pulse Racer. E.T. is always the number one, hands down, because E.T. had no point. It didn't make any sense. You didn't know what you were doing.
It as a video game.
I mean, it was bad.
Charlie's Angels. Yeah.
Knight Rider, I think.
He was
I
looking
forgot what
like
the Knight Rider game was. Oh, and by the way, it looks like Dallas is going to beat Tampa Bay.
okay. That's not a surprise.
Well, Tampa's played horrible.
My boys the other day. I'm sorry.
Which team?
As I
Which
was
one?
scrolling down the list, as I'm scrolling down the list, there's one called Afro Samurai 2: Revenge of Kuma, 2015, and there says it's not very often that a game is so bad that its developers not only publicly apologizes for it, stop selling it, and immediately cancels already in place sequel plans, but they also offered refunds to everyone who had already purchased it.
The show was actually okay. That was ODB's show, if I remember. Not ODB, the GZA show, or RZA. It was the RZA who did that one. Wu-Tang Clan.
Wait a minute, I like playing this. I'm sorry. The other one that they mentioned, I like actually playing on the phone because that's a good phone game, even though I don't have it downloaded right now. Deal or No Deal. It made it as number 10 in terms of video games. I didn't know there was a video game, but the phone version is actually kind of fun. Even though I never get the right one because every time I ask for one of them.
Well, that's the point of the game.
Huh?
That's the point of the game, though.
Isn't that the point of most games, is to make sure that you lose?
No.
I mean,
you want to win.
I definitely want to win. I even like winning when I play Wudoko, but lately I've not been winning because you got to get the certain amount of crystal amount of squares without running out of time or running out of space because it's one of those spatial games. So I managed to mess up somewhere along the line. Number 5 is another show that we've mentioned before, Leisure Suit Larry, box office bust.
Yeah, good old Leisure Suit Larry.
I'm trying to see whether you are going to be right. I was going to try to see if you're going to be right about the number 1 because I'm already at number 3. Number 2 is Family Party, 30 great game obstacle arcade. That was in 2012. And the number 1 to this list, let's see if it's right. You were wrong. The number 1 over here with an 8% ranking in 2003 was Big Rigs Over the Road Racing.
Nothing beats ET. Was that just the
says last and most certainly? This is from last year.
Oh.
No, I'm sorry. I take that back because it was from A Course of Time. I guess see what that Course of Time was, but that looks like one of those trucking type deals and everything.
Yeah, ET should win it every time. Because, like I said,
this is the 25 worst. This according to Metacritic, that list I just went through was the 25 worst video games of all times, ranked according to Metacritic.
No, ET, hands down, is by far. Because it had, like I said, ET had absolutely no point.
It looks like some of the, well, one thing I noticed as I was going through the list is there was at least 3 that were associated with relatively bad movies or relatively campy television shows. Because I did see on that list of their 25 was Charlie's Angels. They were actually dressed in the same kind of seductive way that they would be on TV. A Rocky one. And there was another one that was TV based, but there was like 2 or 3 that were TV and movie based. And I was going like, oh, maybe that's the key. Do a bad TV show and then turn it into a video game.
Well, I mean, the translation going from video game to TV, yeah, none really. Well, they're starting to get the hang of figuring out how to do them, I guess.
Right.
But like I said, they don't normally translate because it's all about the pacing, and the pacing, if the pacing's bad,
The pacing's bad. What you gonna do about it?
Yeah. Oh, you jumped in my way again, dog. See, I'm gonna have to
The
show
dog
you
got in your way?
Yeah, that guy got in my way, and then he didn't chase the ball down. I lost that game. That's okay.
I may have asked you this before, but I forgot the answer. Are there any video games that if folks are having pets that the pets might be interested in playing? So are there any video games that are geared toward you and your pet and all in that kind of way? Because I'm thinking about pets because these last couple of days I've been pet sitting for a fish. You know, I pet sat for the cat that time for my upstairs neighbors, and now one of my other neighbors in a nearby apartment has got me fish sitting. So are there any good games that are pet related?
There are tons of games. I was actually gonna play one, but I got to show you this first.
Okay.
This is ET. See, look at there. NPR, total failure, world's worst video game. Told you.
Okay.
Such a bad game. It had look at there in the trash. It had no point. It had absolutely no point.
Wait a minute, but it seems like it would be perfect for a video game because I thought the whole point of ET was to phone home. That was the whole line.
This is the game.
That was the game.
This is the game. Like, what is he doing?
Phoning?
Just running around.
No.
Yeah, then you got people chasing him. Then you're chasing the person. Or they're taking them somewhere. I have no idea. It's the world's worst game. It's horrible. You fall down a hole.
It does look like a horrible game.
Horrible game. But in terms of the game that you're talking about, I thought I downloaded it too.
But it wasn't one of the wasn't the most original games one of the worst games of all times? Because there was really no purpose to Pong other than bouncing that ball around trying to break the bridge.
Oh yeah, Pong was the beginning of everything. So it's hard. We always have to give a pass to Pong. I mean, it's tennis in a sense. Tennis, ping pong, going back and forth. Oh wait, did I put it on this or did I put it on the PlayStation? I put it on the PlayStation, I think. I'll bring it up.
Okay.
See, I gotta bring it up on the PlayStation. Let's switch that out. And then we'll switch over to the PlayStation stuff. I think it's there. There we go. Death Stranding is actually interesting. It's more of a mailman game than anything. But this would be the game you're talking about. Stray.
Are we gonna go find a stray?
Yep. Well, you are the stray.
You are the stray.
Yep. Of course, it's loading up. Let me accept that one. Yeah, that one. Right there. Make sure my settings are right. But yeah, you are the stray. You're a cat.
Okay. Now, can you change the type of cat you are? You know, like some people have an aversion to black cat, so maybe you don't want to be the black cat. Maybe you want to be the gray cat. Because can you pick the color of the cat, and do you always have to be a cat? Because maybe somebody wants to be a bird in the game.
So we're about to find out. I don't know why it's hesitating. I gotta fix that. Yeah, see, it's hesitating a little bit. I don't know why it's doing that on StreamYard for me.
He was doing that on a couple of shows. So they might be doing some adjustments like some of these other outlets do.
I'm a little kitty.
You're a little kitty. Did you win the kitty?
No, that's who I am.
I see that, but I'm saying, but I was actually making a bad joke because everybody was trying to win the lottery, which means they were trying to get that kind of kitty.
I need to put in for some money on that.
Say what?
I want to try to put in some money on that lottery, see if I can win something.
Yeah. Well, the numbers got dropped because I think somebody in South Carolina won like 1.35 billion or whatever the total was.
Oh, I don't care. I just want to win me a little bit.
Same here.
I want to pay the bills amount.
You don't need the big payout. You just want the take care of the bills coverage.
Yeah.
There you go. Now you just went into a tunnel looking. Now you're a really lost cat. And lost. Oop, there's sunshine. When there's rain there. I don't like rain. We go this way.
Yeah, I can't go out. I don't know where I'm supposed to be going. But yeah, so that's one of the.
Cool. That's one of the games. Where's the rest of the game?
Lay down.
I think I'll just lay down here.
Yeah, get a little rest. It's a storm outside. I don't want to mess around in a storm. Get all lightning fired.
Just like a cat to be taking a cat nap.
Mm-hmm. See, there's a little butterfly.
It's gonna land on you. I'm not gonna wake you up because you're asleep. Now I'm up.
Mm-hmm.
Where did that butterfly go? That was dinner. Nope, there's another
cats have killed. What is it? Cats have killed the most species on the planet.
They
Is
have?
that what it is? I think so.
That's a thing.
Yeah. I think that's what it is.
You know that's going to be a serious debate.
Yeah.
I said, you know that's going to be
cats kill up. What do you mean
I was just hearing the philosophical debate up in heaven because the cats are going to be like, y'all wrote articles about us killing the most species and everything. What the heck were y'all doing?
Yep. Cats kill up to 10 times more wildlife than natural predators.
Oh, well. Yeah. There was an imposter in that. There was an imposter in that, by the way.
An imposter?
Yeah, if you go back and rewind it, well, all the cats were sounding very meowish and very cattish, but there was one that had a little bit of a deeper meow, almost like a dog bark. I was going like, that's an imposter. That's not a cat. That's a cat pretending to be a cat. It's really a dog.
Doing my claws.
Gotta make sure the day nice and sharp.
Mm-hmm. Oh, what are you going up there for? What's up here? Drink a little water. Drink a little bit more water. Move out of the way. Oh, we gotta go down here now.
See, Jacoby, I hate to tell you this, but somewhere on another plane, there are two individual cats playing a video game TV series called Milk's Den, where they're sitting there analyzing us playing.
Well, it could be a cat controlling me playing the game.
Could be. Could be. I would just do it the reverse. You know, the cats are doing us.
There, I can jump up here. Oh, I got to hold X to chain jump. Stray cat. They better keep up. I like running.
Yeah. Better be careful with all that running. You know, there might be one of them folks down there from the pound trying to catch you.
Not gonna catch me. I'm a cat. Uh-oh. He looks like he's stalking something. Oh, going after the butterflies.
They're stalking the butterflies. Well, they might catch you if you're on the 9th life. Remember, cats have 9 lives. So if you're on the 9th one, they might catch you.
Yeah.
And I think they say that they always land on their feet. You know, I think I have seen a couple of cats stumble, so I'm not 100% sure that I believe that.
Well, I might die here.
But that does not look like a good place. Matter of fact, I'm going to do a Jacoby. I'm going to dig up a big word. That looks very precarious.
Oh, nice, nice. Oh, this one might fall.
Yeah. I'm going to jump. Oh, good jump. And you fell.
On my feet.
And you landed on your feet. And your friends
Yeah,
are
look
looking
at the other cat.
Don't be a rope.
They didn't care. They didn't look at me. They just let me drop.
They did not. They gave you no love.
Let me drop to the bottom.
That's just so wrong. The end of the stray.
I gotta figure out where I am now. Oh, I got a limp now.
Oh, and you hurt yourself.
Yep, falling over.
Now you gotta walk with 3 legs as opposed to 4.
Oh, that might be one of my 9 lives.
Might have been.
Oh, there's an electrical outlet stuff. Okay.
Yeah, that's what we're doing
here
wrong.
Comes somebody.
Yep, somebody rescue you and will catch you.
Oh, somebody ran up under that door. That's what I'm gonna have to do. Hey, look at there. There's Kara. I forgot to send a link. It was a holiday. I'm sending it to you. Yeah, I'm sending it. Ha 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 ha. It's there now. It's there now. It's there now. Oh, see, look at there. Mark, my legs all better now. I just need to sleep. That's what it's trying to tell me.
That's what the doctor was trying to tell you.
See, look at there. Took a nap. Well, I just under 12 feet, but that's good. Let's see. Where is this? What's up here? Can I get up there? I can't get up there. Little stray cat. I'm just running around. Hey, I'm in the dead city. Whoa. I saw it on the ground there. I'm going to get it. See, Mark, this will be a good game. You can have the pets all around. This is what was driving some dogs crazy. Ooh.
Oh, sure.
Which way am I going? Is anything down there? Ooh, we're going to go down there. Hey, look, there's Kara.
There's Kara.
Mel?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Thanks for letting me join you guys. Finally.
Yeah, I forgot to say that.
Oh, so you guys, I haven't officially clued you in. I haven't officially, and I had it last week too, so you can read, which is funny, hilarious.
You officially had what? I
What's
missed
going
that.
on? Hold on. Oh, I think that's better. Hold on. Can you hear me?
I hear you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so much better. Okay. So, yeah, y'all. I yeah. I just my name is Mel and that's it. So that's that. Yes.
Okay.
Mhm. More to be talked about, I guess, eventually. But yeah, that's just what it is. And I had it as my name last week, and nobody saw it.
No, I saw it last week. I just did not say anything about it. I saw it last week.
You guys are so observant, kind of like how you didn't. Like, how do you even survive? Like, I know, Jatobi, you have like family to keep you alive. Like, I don't know. I guess Merkley, you are a little bit more resilient.
Well, you know, you got to be resilient when you're out there in the world and surviving the world and all of that. So I have to
I
be
know, right? Oh my gosh. So what are we doing now that I'm an hour and a half late to the party?
I'm a kitty cat.
Yeah, he just had to be a kitty cat because I
This is
asked
a
him
game
about
that came out. Yeah, this game came out actually a while back, and it was a big craze. There was a huge craze over this game.
What is it?
Game called Stray.
Okay.
I'm a stray cat. So yeah, I'm just wandering around the city. think I'm trying to get back to my family.
Not just any stray cat. You're a stray orange tabby now.
Oh yeah, true.
Like, do you get to pick what kind of stray animal you are?
No. I'm just a cat. Ooh, I can't go through there. That's gonna chop me up.
But you know, like minds think alike because I did just ask that question, Gary. Mel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. It was so smooth. You called me Caramel.
I caught myself using the old name, and then I was like, "Wait a minute!" She actually has the. It takes a while sometimes to get adjusted, so that's
No,
what
you're
I was doing.
good. I appreciate you guys. No, and I guess like if you have mental space for it, like, and if you guys are curious about it, like, you know, I mean, like just going through my journey in general and non-binary journey, like a lot of folks are assigned gendered names, and so which is completely fine, and it also doesn't resonate for most of our lives. So as we're deciding a lot of things for ourselves, names are one of them. And what I love about DC is that I can get my driver's license here under as an X. So I don't have to have my birth certificate. I can just be just X. And then, oh, of course you're doing that.
I'm a cat.
Yes, you are. And then I can start the name change process here because I have to establish residency here, and then I can do that. And I don't know. It's just a beautiful thing that when you're able to do it, you can. Like, oh, I'm gonna do that because I mean, you can, like, it's easy to do when you're cisgendered. And there are people who are cisgendered who don't like their names and they have it changed all the time. So, but with non-binary folk and trans folks, like, it's a little deeper for us. So yeah. Anyways, and that's why my LinkedIn profile, like, I am just kind of trying out, like, what if I just have my last name as Kara? Like, that's kind of cool. But then people get confused too, so I'm still figuring it all out.
People are oftentimes figuring out things. I remember that there was a time, and it's not saying that it's the same thing, when folks would want to identify with certain cultures, so they would change their names in that way also. And sometimes you had to get adjusted in that space, because I do know that definitely in the 60s and the 70s, and I guess even now, there's been some folks that wanted to change their name to something that was a little bit more Afrocentric, or something that's a little bit more in their space, whatever that space is. And that was a thing there for a minute. And I definitely knew some folks that changed their name. Matter of fact, one of my, I think he still goes by Shanga, but yeah, Donald, who is his name that he was born with, but he decided he wanted to change it to something that was a little bit more Black nationalist kind of oriented, and things along that space. So,
Yeah, that's beautiful. If you are a Black person and you want to have a name that you identify with that makes you feel proud, of who you are, then that is so beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
And I also know that sometimes it just takes people a minute, it's fine. Like, but oh my gosh, rats and
It's
a
a robot.
robot.
I'm yelling.
Are you yelling?
The robot just died.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. Oh, I gotta go up. But yeah, this is the game that went crazy.
When did it come out?
Last year, if I remember.
Yeah, I think it was last year. I think that's when I first heard about it. Either last year or the year before. It actually raises an interesting. It actually, because I've been asking all kinds of offbeat questions today, email and everything. So that actually raises an interesting question. I wonder if there are, because I told y'all I have this little bit of a pet empath ability and all of that. So I wonder if there are cats out there that are actually identifying as dogs, and dogs that are actually identifying as cats. So they are actually thinking that they are the opposite animal from the animal that we think of them as pets, and all of that. So maybe there's a fish that actually thinks that he's Tweety, or a bird that actually.
What the heck?
Oh no! What did you do?
I don't know. I was running and they jumped me.
Oh no!
What jumped you? A rat or a robot?
Whatever those red robots, they're, because they aren't rats, they're little robots. Ooh, get away from them. Or bugs or something. I don't know.
Robots got you.
Oh, everywhere.
That's wild.
That was well.
Well, and gender is a wonderfully beautiful, complex, like, concept. Like, the animal kingdom does it differently, and, like, for some reason, all Tory tabbies are female. Like, how does that happen? Because it does take a male cat and a female cat, like, a cat with a penis and a cat with a vagina to make a cat, and then the female cats, like, not all female cats become Torty tabbies, but all Teletubbies are female. It's wild, you know.
Yeah, it's almost as wild as those bees that go out there and mate with the queens and know that they are pretty much doomed as soon as they are in that space, depending on which type of bee it is, and all in that way. I do know a little bit about that part of life as well.
I mean, just a bunch of boy bees trying to get frisky, and then that's their demise.
Is their demise.
I do know that Henry is all boy. He identifies strongly with his societal, socially, you know, social presentation of male. He's definitely like, I'm a boy. Yeah.
Does Henry follow the pack? I guess that was a bad pun.
My new roommates, he likes to follow them. So I guess, yes, kind of.
No idea where I'm going.
Yeah, yeah. What are you doing?
Trying to be the cat, and apparently the cat is very lost. Almost like Jovi's. The cat is going like, I have no idea
Yeah,
where
all
I'm
the time.
So all the people
All right,
going this way, so this must be where I'm supposed to be going. Then again, they tried to give me some milk, and I don't know why they keep trying to do that. They know that it's bad for me, even though there's media people keep telling me that it's good for me, but it's not. Why do they keep trying to give it to me?
All right, I'm by the laundry. Knocking stuff over.
Oh, speaking of which, I'm gonna see if I need to change my laundry. I'll be right back, guys.
All right. Laundry is always important.
Yeah.
Yep.
Thanks for
Very
understanding.
important.
There's that meowing cat again.
Oh, I gotta go this way? So, oh, I see what I'm supposed to do. I gotta go in there and move it. Go in here.
Not the in there and moving it.
Yeah, he tried to trick me. He tricked me.
Of course he did. Did it
Up.
work?
There we go. Jump over here.
Did it work? Did he trick you?
No, not gonna trick me. I'm a cat.
Not the cat not being tricked.
Whoa, I don't want to go that way.
Sure you didn't.
Okay.
Sure you didn't.
Oh, what's down this way? Oh, can't go down that way. Gotta go here again.
You can't go down that way at all?
Oh, I gotta go this way. That's where I'm going. Oh, boo! Made me fall down.
That's just wrong.
Nope, gotta go.
All right. You still got another 20 minutes or so. I'll be back. I've got to go check
that's
on
why.
that. Huh?
Play a little stray. I'm gonna play a little stray until then. Well, actually, I might do a mailman game, which is actually an interesting game. Death Stranding.
Cool.
Yeah, Death Stranding is.
You sound like somebody yawning, but I'm going to go check on the car guy. I'll be back.
The car guy?
That's the other show that we've got running right about now. It's a car show.
Oh, okay. Jumping across. Jumping across. Up. Here we go. Keep it moving. Okay. That way. Why do I have to go that way? The lights are a little spooky. Let's go up, up, and up, and down. There we go. Oh, not that way. This way? Oh, this way, yeah. Follow the light, Carol Ann. Follow the light. Oh, where'd you go? Oh, up there now. Oh, I just heard something. Why are they trying to kill this cat? I don't know. Oh, hey. I can go. No, I can't go there. Where am I going to go? Where do I have to go? It goes in there. Oh, I see now. Okay. I got to put it in the fan. Oh, no, I unplugged the fan. The flat. Go through the beads. Uh-oh.
Hey. So where did you guys go? I can't see your face. Mark Lee's not here.
Oh, so Mark camped out. I'm still here. I'm playing the game.
Where's your face?
See?
There you are.
Yeah, I had to scratch my nose. And there's Mark. He's coming back. I don't know why it's running slow.
Yeah,
Weird.
it's weird.
Just one of those nights, I guess.
Yeah.
Ooh, where am I going? Where am I going? Oh, there we go. Oh, this is where I came in. I went back the wrong way. Stretch my claws. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out why it's not sending out the stream well. Something's up.
Are you
I gotta figure that out.
Why are you sitting like that?
So I was doing the scratching the claws.
Oh, making biscuits? You're making,
Yeah, you know, stretching out my claws.
I love that. But there's a making biscuits feature.
I was trying to see if I can figure out why the output is going slow. It just doesn't.
Yeah. Wild.
I'm getting close. Ooh, the bit rate might be low. Trying to pump up the bit rate, and the bit rate's not really changing it. That's weird. Output, recording, audio, streaming. Wonder if that changes anything. Yeah, it's still not working. For some reason, it's just the slower the output. It's weird. Oh, I guess since you just got here, one of the shows talked about today in terms of a review, and I don't know if you've seen the show. Actually, it's fairly good. No Wi-Fi. It's weird. Shouldn't be on Wi-Fi. This is interesting. Interesting. Anyway, let me push pause on this. So, one of the oh yeah, my computer is going slow today for some reason. Cancel that. So one of the shows that I talked about today, and I don't know if you've seen it yet, is Velma. Have you heard about Velma?
Oh, okay. Yes, I heard. The only thing I heard about Velma is that there's criticism over Velma. That's what I've heard.
So Velma right now is getting review bombed. I thought the show was okay. As you see, the audience score is down to a 7%.
Yeah.
But it got review bombed. I don't think it deserved it. I think it actually is a decent show. For what it is, it isn't Scooby-Doo. And I guess people are trying to think that it is, or trying to believe that it is. Mark is sitting in the background, by the way. Mark, you can come and join too if you want to. Oh, he says, wait. Oh, but yes. So I think, where was it? They talked about the writers. Yeah. So like this right here. What the heck? Soulless, generic, pointless race swapping, and it just radiates bitterness and hatred. Again, this is what they said on there. I watched the first episode. They released the second one. I haven't had a chance to watch the second one yet. The first episode I enjoyed. I thought it was pretty cute.
Yeah.
I don't know. Have you seen it? Any of the trailers or anything?
I don't know anything about it except that there's criticism over it. And so that's why I'm like, oh, you know about it? Yeah, I'm happy to listen for sure. Because I haven't taken time yet to look into what that is.
It is a decent show. Let me see if I can turn the volume up.
To finally share the bone-chilling events that drove me to assemble the greatest team of spooky mystery solvers ever. This is my story, told my way.
What's wrong with that?
She has no brain! Oh, I'm not dissing her. She has no brain! And it starts with a murder. When I see something, I wish if I can't convince people I didn't kill Brenda, I'm going to be arrested.
I know, but I also know how to find out who did kill Brenda. I think it has something to do with drugs, which I hate.
Hey, Fred.
Do I know you?
It's Velma from school.
I have a disease where I can't recognize people who aren't hot.
Is it called rudeness?
I have an illness!
Hey, Daphne. I need a favor.
Why would I do that? We're not friends anymore. We're nemesises.
Nemesis.
That's why.
Attention! For all you wondering why the police have not yet caught the serial killer, it's because it's a ghost.
Jinkies!
Maybe it's one of those doors where you push in a brick and it opens.
Fred, wait!
I have a plan.
I love danger. more success with this if you went in just a little less judgy.
Okay, Daphne, I'm the brains of this operation. You're just the look, style, and effortless charm.
We do make a good team, don't we?
In this day and age, you can't speculate about someone's sexuality unless they're famous or Peppermint Patty.
The rules feel a bit muddy.
Muddy? Oh, sorry I'm not a drunk on the verge of losing custody like every other woman solving murders these days. All our classmates are idiots, so let's assume they're high.
You know what 420 is, right?
Yeah, it's code for adults who still watch cartoons.
So yeah, all it
Okay,
is,
that's adorable.
and that's what the show is.
That's
And
adorable. I need to watch that now.
but it's cute.
And it has Mindy Kaling. Oh my gosh, I love that.
So yeah, people are upset because she's there, because they're attacking Mindy. It
Her
just was one of
voice
those
is
things.
perfect.
It is.
Yeah,
But it's
her
one
voice
of, it was
is
one of those
perfect for
things.
drama.
Yeah, it was one of those things that's been sitting on me for a while. Just reading all the review bombs, I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. It's not what the show is about. The show is just a show. It's just a fun show. Just watch the show. So that was what my whole soapbox was earlier, because I'm like, look, people are going to say stupid things because they may hate this person or that person, but no, it's just a show.
That's the way folks should
Make
see
your
it.
own opinion.
It's the same person I just saw on LinkedIn tell someone like mansplain to them about something and be like, get your facts straight or else you're losing your credibility. And I'm like, so we're still getting the facts, and here's the main thing. Also notice that your pronouns say Mandalorian. Please get your facts straight and know those are descriptors, and maybe you need to put them in the headline along with toxic white cis male. And he's like, how dare you question anyone's pronouns? As I'm like, giggle, giggle, giggle.
Sometimes you just
It's
gotta
the
go books out.
person. Rinse, repeat, rinse, repeat. And then every once in a while it happens to be douchebag's girlfriend. It's the same persona.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's a never-ending drama and never-ending problems that we don't really need to have in that way. Folks just need to be understanding and accepting and all in that space and stop trying to be so daggone judgmental in that kind of way. What I did, what I did mention to Jacoby earlier was because I mentioned that I had a interview that I'll be playing later for the Pod TV network with David Milburn, who is a actor, considers himself a journeyman actor, definitely part of the LGBTQIA community, but he actually just did, and that's the thing I didn't mention, a documentary.
Jacoby, leave it back up, by the way, for a second.
A documentary that came out, it's really interesting, called 100 Years of a Man in Love. So it's actually pictures, because he went and found some pictures like of the old-fashioned photographs, 10 types, I think they're called. And it was like two gentlemen that were totally in love and totally enjoying that moment of romance. So he actually interviewed multiple thousands of individuals throughout, I want to say definitely the country, might even been the world, and has now put together this documentary called 100 Years of Man in Love. And it's nothing but like pictures of individuals that are in love in gay relationships, gay male relationships, and them having a conversation in this documentary. I think it's also a book and a number of other things that are involved in that, but it definitely was a very eye-opening conversation.
I love that. Sorry, I'm looking at the bottom comment just really, and it says innocent child's what game? I don't know. I can't see vocal print.
It says innocent children's IP or innocent children's IP turned into hate spewing self indulgence by vitriolic cynics. Every two dimensional negative stereotype, it what? Every two dimensional negative stereotype, it on display to attack the source material and its viewers. And they removed the talking dog from the show about a talking dog. Out of all of the animated projects canceled by HBO, whoever decided this was the only one to release needs to be fired and pay restitution to subscribers.
Velma, this is Velma's personality.
This is
Like,
it's a show about Velma. They
it's
didn't say
a
the
show
show was
about
Scooby-Doo.
Velma. Yeah. Yeah, it's a show about Velma, and this is her personality. Like, she's sarcastic, smart. It's about time we have a show about Velma, because she's like, you pretty dumb people have been, and the dog have been running the show for so long.
Mm-hmm. So you got a high character and a dog.
Yeah,
That's all
it's
people
like
wanted
a
to see.
Daria.
Yeah.
Like, Daria was super sarcastic.
But yeah. That's why I'm like, yeah, people just are so stuck on, hey, it should be about Scooby Doo. Well, the show's not named Scooby Doo. Yeah.
I want to watch it now.
I mean, it's a good show. It really is a good show. It's a decent show. I won't say it's great because yes, it does have its potholes and its problems, but that has nothing to do with anything but just some of the writing is interesting. But no, it's a good show. It's fine. Harley Quinn is great too. That's another good show. That one's on HBO. But right now, the best thing out there right now is The Last of Us. That's such a great. Oh, I love The Last of Us.
Oh, yeah. And I didn't realize. Well, I recognized the main female character from Game of Thrones.
Mm-hmm.
Little girl.
Well, both of them are.
The giant, and then Oberon, or some. I think his name was Oberon or something like that. He was also crushed by a giant.
Yeah, he was crushed by the mountain.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, his head was crushed by the mountain.
Yeah.
So
that's wild that two Games of Thrones people were. Yeah.
It's a good. The Last of Us is great. Like I said, I didn't get a chance to play the game for you. Yeah, it's that is a true tearjerker game. Yeah, and part 2 dives into some extra things, and it just picks up the torch and runs with what the first one led up with, and it's just so good. It's so good. So good.
So, are we on a strict time limit this week?
I mean
it's 1:58 for live. Do we have to say our goodbyes to the audience? I'm just trying to help you out. I know last week we had to skedaddle.
Yeah, we skedaddle because if it goes over, then it's that whole. If you wanted, sometimes if it's re-aired, then it's hard to re-air it after that time frame. But I'm not like that much of a time Nazi, so like I said, we go over. I don't think I really care.
Okay.
I mean, I will admit right now it's not on. I need to put it on the Roku stuff, so I'm gonna have to send you the copy of it because the Roku thing said it wasn't connecting.
Oh, okay. It wasn't connecting at all.
Yeah, so you have. Well, no, yeah, you have to pull it from the StreamYard back up.
Yeah, I can pull it from the StreamYard back up. And there's a way to get around that because actually, if I do it on there's a way to get around that. It can be 2.5 or 3 hours now that they've bought that other plan and everything. So yeah, that actually makes it easier.
Okay. Well, let's just I guess keep going. All right, I know that last week you were like, so.
Yeah.
Rocket League, you love Rocket League.
Well, I mean, it's a good pass the time game. You know, I mean, it's not a super serious game, so it's a good pass the time game. But again, The Last of Us, yeah, that's sad. Ooh, that hurts your heart.
And it hurt your heart.
Yeah, it really does. I didn't know if he was taking off or not. But there's some other games that are coming out soon, which I'm super excited about. And I gotta. Woo! I didn't hit it that way. I just downloaded one just recently called Mortal Shell, which I'm curious to see how that one is. That's a sword game.
Ooh.
Came out a while back as well, but I just never got a chance to play it. It's supposed to be pretty tough. Which would
Like
be
Puss in Boots
oh, I
or
need to,
like Zelda.
well, kind of Zelda. Well, really wouldn't say it's Zelda per se. More like, well, I guess for a frame of reference for you, yes, Zelda. I can't believe I made that.
You made it.
But yeah, it's a third person viewpoint, but yeah, you're walking around with a sword and you got to fight some other people and hopefully beat some people up.
There you go, beating those people up again.
Hey, they trying to beat me up, so I got to beat them up.
Yeah, I gotta go see the veterans in the morning at Hey Are there any good veteran video games?
I mean, veteran video games. What do you mean as like war stuff?
Well, I know the chance of war stuff, but I mean games specifically about veterans.
Yeah.
Like they get back from war and end up like indulging in like a really unique hobby, and it consumes their time and their mind and their mental space, and then they suddenly become that hobby, and then video gameness ensues.
That sounds like a plan. I think you need to create that game, though.
I mean, in terms of the storylines, yeah, I mean, there's plenty of games that have storylines around veterans. I mean, Modern Warfare even has I think one of the Modern Warfare games deals with a veteran.
So, are there any in that same vein? Are there any peace games? Games that are just about peace and love and not war or any of those other things? Because I did have the pleasure, I guess it was a few days ago, of interviewing the woman that was the founder of Code Pink. So I'm thinking we need games more like the Code Pink kind of attitude.
Well, it depends on what you mean. I mean, there's like Stray isn't about violence.
No, I mean like an anti-war.
You have
I
other
mean,
games
literally
that are,
anti-war movies.
well, again, it depends on what do you mean by, because if you're talking about, I mean, there are the civilization games and the strategic games where you're not really doing anything war-wise, but is it saying anti-war messages? I mean, there are games that do have that as well. But yeah, there are games that have any facet of life. There's a game that's out there that has something about it. Anti-war, but it all again, what specifically are you looking for? Anti-war wise, what peace wise?
That makes sense.
Also, when is Marjorie Green in training from Wyoming coming on the show that person you know, Markley, the history
Oh,
team.
I've I've got to reach back out to them and see when we can get them on because they do need to come on here for sure.
I'd love to ask what her pronouns are.
Exactly. What are your pronouns?
I am curious to meet that lady. That'd be fun. Because it's just a curiosity. The thing that you believe. Like things like even Shaq has some interesting things and I'm like, why?
But then he'll turn around and say that it's partially based on his own history and some of his own things that he thinks are more along the journey of the minority community. Because sometimes he says stuff that doesn't quite match what he says other times.
Yeah, it just seems to just a lot of it just doesn't make any sense. So it'd be fun to chit chat with her. I'm like, hey, why do you believe this?
I don't know. Maybe it's just that general neck of the woods to be using that phrase because she's one of two folks that I know from that area. That one that I interviewed last week, and then there's a woman that I think is in that same general area of around Wyoming or that general area that has got a might be one of the Dakotas, but they've got a what do you call it? A ranch that's training women in rodeo and kind of a empowerment kind of system and all in that way. But they were also very pro-Trump. I remember that interview I think was done. That wasn't on the network. That was actually done audio-wise. So they had some very interesting views as well.
I mean, teach their own, yes, but it's like just don't get it sometimes. It doesn't make any sense to me.
That's what Dr. Anthony talks about sometimes. It has a show on the network, and she's a sister that teaches in the DC system, but she has brought up several times on her show how there's as she puts it, a lot of white women that are voting against their interests, and they don't seem to understand that. And she brought that up on her show a couple of times.
It's true. It is very true.
Mm-hmm. Very much. White feminism is horrible, and it's like learned and taught so well, and it's covert and it sneaks up and ingrained in so many aspects, and you really have to unwind it and unpack it. Like just the whole notion that women vote for Trump, like he wouldn't vote for you, he just grabbed you by the pussy, you know. And I just don't get it.
Yeah. But then again, I also don't get it. Maybe I'll find a way to get her on the show too, because maybe it would be very interesting if we somehow manage to stumble Marjorie Taylor Greene into the Gamers Den.
Oh, good God, I'd hate that. Well, I mean, it'd be funny. I can ask her questions and hear her crazy answers. Yeah. But that lady is a nut. Pure nut.
Just her concept of science boggles my mind.
I mean, she's a shock jock who believes her own expressions.
Yeah.
I mean, the dumb stuff and conspiracy things that she'll say, yeah, it's just unreal.
Yeah.
I like to say Henry agrees with you, but I also think he might be giving me the poop stare. So.
Now, was it the poop stare, or was it the agree stare, or was it the same?
Well, it's like a whale eye accompanied by a ooh.
Yeah.
So, well, it's so good to see you guys. I'm gonna walk little hens.
Yeah. Before you walk the little one, Mel, how is because I'm sure you're in touch, even though they are at your brother's. But how is Rita adapting to the new home, and how is Rita doing in general?
She's good. We're having some poop problems with her too. That I don't know, but overall she's fine. Just she's testing my brother's patience. But she's also just a cat that just ignores people most of the time.
Like most cats.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just played Stray. Stray was definitely ignoring other cats.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, they're fine. She's doing fine with him. So, but thank you so much for asking.
No
Yeah,
problem.
all the animals are good. We're doing good. And
And you're
I
just
set
taking DC
myself
by.
a reminder to remind you to send me a link next Monday to Tubi.
I mean, I actually have it already because I
Yeah,
did
sorry,
set
though.
up
You set up for the
a
rest of the
month.
month, didn't you?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll send it via chat sometime.
Yeah.
And what were you saying? I'm sorry, Mark.
No problem. I was just saying, and Mel is taking DC by storm. So you're over there taking DC by storm and trying to avoid all of those crazy politicians over there.
It is kind of cool to see like one of those like black SUVs with guys in suits. I'm like, oh. I just think that's cool.
That would be cool.
Yeah. Well, I love you both, and see you next week.
Sounds good.
Bye. Oh, wait, I can't even get out. Hold on.
Oh Lord.
Okay, bye.
I missed. I was so close to hitting the ball that time. I missed again, Mark. Coming close. Uh-oh, Mark.
Yep, I'm here.
You look focused.
Yeah, I was writing a note. And I posted something, but nah, I'm not overly focused. That was called an illusion. Did it work?
it did. It did.
Good. Because it was totally an illusion. I'm glad it worked.
I'm gonna lose this game possibly. Oh, I missed.
Missed again.
I was close though. I thought he hit it. Oh well.
Such is life.
Look at there. We're at 2 hours and 15 minutes, Mark.
Yeah, we probably just need to end shortly, but whenever you're ready.
I gotta clean up downstairs.
Yeah, don't talk to me about that dreaded word. Even though the pesticide guy did come by and make sure that there were no bugs around. So he did do that today. So he do that about once a month. He's like, nope, no bugs. I was like, good, no bugs.
Yeah, it's a really good thing.
Yeah.
Bugs no fun.
Yeah, but he went and, sprayed around and make sure no bugs showed up.
And looks like Dallas just beat Tampa.
Oh. I hate to say it, and I know that some of our listeners might not want to hear me say it, but I have this, and I'm not saying this because I really don't like this team. I don't like the team that they're playing either, but I have this slightly sneaky suspicion that because it's hard to beat a team 3 times, that the Giants might actually get by Philadelphia, even though Philadelphia is heavily favored.
Oh, I mean, I think so too. I mean, Philly, don't get me wrong, Philly is the good team, but so are the Giants are playing well.
They're playing very well, and I think Philly may come in a little bit too confident in themselves and everything, and I would not be surprised if the Giants didn't knock them off.
Well, you got that, plus you've got an injured Jalen Hurts.
Right. And like I said earlier, it's just hard to beat a team 3 times in a row in your division.
Mm-hmm.
I would not be surprised in the least bit.
But San Francisco is playing the best out of everybody.
Oh yeah. Well, I think that's probably the. I mean, I think some people are picking Kansas City against Philly, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's like Kansas City against San Francisco.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if it's either the way Buffalo. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if it's Buffalo and San Fran.
Yep.
I just have a feeling San Francisco is going, and I think it would be cool. It'd be one of the neatest stories for Mr. Irrelevant to win.
Yeah, that would be a great story.
Because, I mean, his title is Mr. Irrelevant, literally. But if he goes and becomes the most relevant individual,
oh, you just didn't hit the button. That's what you meant. I thought you meant that you didn't like have it on the page. You just didn't hit the button.
which one?
The Roku, the R and the.
Oh no, I did. It was there. It gave me an error when I started.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah. So.
I got you.
So yeah, I just took it off the top, and I'm like, okay, well, let it ride.
Let it ride. Sometimes that error just means that somebody else is running at the same time. We try to keep things on a tight schedule, but sometimes that doesn't always work because folks are going to be folks. So that's probably what happened.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah.
But I wasn't too much worried about it because, like I said, I got the other ones that are going.
Oh yeah, they're all going, and we can still make this one go to the Roku and to the Pod TV at some point because we usually run stuff a few times anyway. So it will definitely get on, and it'll definitely be an enjoyable conversation.
Well, I mean, hopefully get other stuff from it though. Oh no, he made that shot. He got there just before I did because I thought he was gonna miss it. Man,
Sure he did.
And I saw the the Black Expo was going. What is it?
Yeah, Black Business Expo. Yeah, you saw that going.
Yeah, I didn't know how long that was going.
That's a whole separate. I think Roku channel was set up, but that's 8 to 8 Monday through Sunday. I think this week and everything. So.
Oh, okay.
But regular programming is still going on at the same time. That's what Mama said. I know that is not the case because there are different buttons that can make it go to multiple places on the Pod TV page.
Cool.
And to Roku as well.
I got to figure out what I set up the other one for, or the next one for. I think something else comes out.
Another game?
Well, I think there's a game or something coming out next week or soon.
When are we going to get, because I heard you mention it on one of those meetings we were having, when are we going to get one of these epic Unreal Engine people on the show just to talk about how fascinating and fantastic that Unreal and Epic are.
Well, I mean, I can get other developers that are here. There are a ton of them. But of course, again, I've been just so focused on some other things.
Oh, yeah.
Because, if I were making change off of it,
understood,
it makes it easier to reach out to people because you got a little more time. But when you're not making any change off of it,
not as easy. Understood totally.
He was not supposed to score that. I was supposed to get there first. Ooh, and I can do the whole cooking thing too. Yeah.
Cooking thing?
Yeah.
What's the cooking thing?
Hey, do me a recipe.
Not the recipe.
Shoot, that did me. It made me some meatballs. I still got a whole bunch in there. Been eating those for the past couple of days. They're good too.
What time is the DoorDash delivery? What time is the Jatovi DoorDash delivery?
Again, whenever I can get some change.
Meatballs sounded good. I was waiting for you to make the Jatovi DoorDash delivery. I do freely accept them at Duke Manor whenever available. So I'm waiting for the delivery.
Hey, you know, money makes me travel.
I know that's right. No, that is absolutely right.
I had to get back because he's going to try and make it in the goal.
The goal again.
And I thought I picked up my boost on that side, but it didn't. Oh, and he's going to hit it back, and that's going to hit the ceiling and then drop straight down. See, Mark, you'd enjoy playing this game.
Well, we enjoy playing that game.
Ooh, I missed that badly. There was a game, actually, I did find. And I forgot which one it was. Because... forgot what it was. There's a game that I know you'd enjoy as well.
Cool.
I just couldn't remember the name of it right now.
It'll come to you.
No, it's late at night, so you know, I mean, just rambling now.
As well, you might as well get ready to hit that magic button. But no rush.
Yeah, you know, I mean, we can hit the magic button anytime, really.
Yeah, let's go for it. I gotta do a couple more links for our lovely news show, and I'm gonna get that thing called a sack.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna go to the bathroom probably first, though.
That was on my agenda as well.
All right, I'm gonna hit the button. Let me see.
All right.
I'm gonna just hit end. Oh, I gotta do that.